Hello there and welcome. So today we're going to talk about a post-high school education. You have a few options. First, trade school. You get trained in a profession and then you immediately go into that profession or you're an apprentice for that position. Next is community college, where you get an associate's degree, certificate license, and then you could transfer to a four-year university, though not always. You may get a certification at a community college. And then a bachelor's degree, which is a 4 or 5 year college to earn a degree in some specialty. Now, something you should generally know is generally over a lifetime, you will earn more money with a bachelor's degree or higher education. And this video is going to focus on how to pay for that. First thing is community college. You work to get an associate's degree, then transfer to four-year university, though not always. As you can see here, the costs on the screen right there. The requirement is just high school diploma. We'll move on to the next one. And then a public university, which is 4 or 5 years to get a bachelor's degree. The requirements are a bit more, where you need an SAT, ACT, GPA, maybe interview, a letter of recommendation, and you need to fill out the application. As you can see, the costs are increasing comparatively. One thing to point out is that the in-state versus out-of-state tuition, notice how much extra it is. And of course, room and board will nearly double the tuition. And again, look at this here. Room and board nearly doubles, more than doubles the tuition here. And trade school, this should have gone first, but whatever. Trade schools can include focuses on specialties such as cars, such as cooking, such as beauty, plumbing, electricity, etc., etc. As you can see, here's the tuition here, $3,000. Room and board again more than doubles it. One thing I do want to point out is that usually out-of-state tuition costs more than in-state tuition. So it's in your best interest, if you care about the cost to an extreme degree, you should look for something local unless you can pay for it. And then private universities, where it's similar to a public college, except more expensive, but in return there's typically more grants, more opportunities to pay for it, and the education may be better in certain circumstances. And the requirements are similar: high school diploma, SAT, ACT, GPA, application, interview, letters of recommendation, etc., etc. Tuition may not always be fixed for a private college, but sometimes it is. And room and board is still pretty expensive, offering another $10,000. Next, here are ways to pay for your college. First, this is typically should be done by your parents when you're young, a 529 plan. Now there's two types. First is the prepaid tuition plan, where you essentially purchase credit, hours, or classes in advance, and this is at select colleges or universities there. Next is the education savings plan, where you put money into an account, and then they invest that money, and then it grows over time, and then this will be used to pay for college accounts. And then of course there's scholarships, loans, grants. So for grants, these are typically need-based. This means that you must qualify through financial need. Grants offer money, and it can help pay for college, universities, technical, or trade schools. Grants you do not have to pay back, loans you do. So you can get some through the federal Pell Grants. These are for undergraduate students, and how much you get depends on your need. These are Teach Grants, such as Teach for America, where you'll get a certification or you'll get training in a program as long as you agree to teach in a certain area for a certain amount of time. And then this here's military service benefits, where if you have a parent or guardian who died after 9/11 while in service or in one of the wars, Iraq or Afghanistan, you may get a grant from the government. In addition, you may choose to work for your college. You get a work-study program, you apply for it, and you might get anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000 or maybe more or less off of your tuition. That depends on the job you got on campus. So you might just be a cashier on campus, and then they pay you by taking money off of your tuition. Next are federal student loans. These loans are money given to you by the government that you will have to pay back with interest, but typically speaking, the loan is lower than a private company. And then there are subsidized loans versus unsubsidized loans. Subsidized are based on need and are available to undergraduates, and you don't have to pay interest while in school, but there's a certain limit of subsidized loans you can have. Once you get out of school, then that's when the interest starts to kick in more. Unsubsidized loans, these are available to everybody. You don't necessarily need just financial need in order to have these ones, and you can use these for graduate school. Just make sure that you pay these off quickly because the interest rate is higher. You can also get some from banks, credit unions, loan lenders, etc., etc. Keep in mind, though, these are more standard loans, so the interest rate will be higher. And then, of course, you should always fill out FAFSA. Typically speaking, a lot of scholarships and a lot of financial aid is done through FAFSA. You can fill it out at FAFSA.gov. You can fill this out in a paper copy, but internet is much faster and you could submit it quicker. The earliest you could submit it is October 1st. The sooner you get it, the better. So you can be anywhere from 3 weeks in order to get it back, and then typically speaking, this will be sent to schools you apply to, and then they'll see what they can offer you based on that. And make sure to do your FAFSA every year to so you get the most money possible. And also be sure to ask schools because they may be able to waive certain fees for you. Some colleges require you to pay an application fee, while some schools may waive that for you. Or you may use things such as the Common App to do so. Now, when paying for this education, you could definitely start while in high school. If you're a freshman, you join clubs, and you get your GPA very high. Doing so will make you more competitive for scholarships later. 10th grade, you could start looking at colleges a little bit more. And then 11th, you should start taking college level classes, AP and IB classes, because these could be used as college credits, so that way you had to pay less money overall. If you do well enough on the exams, then you will not need to pay for certain credits and might save yourself thousands upon thousands of dollars. And of course, in the 12th grade, this is when you fill out your FAFSA and start looking for scholarships, though you can do this at really any level, and you can apply to schools at this time. And remember, when it comes to scholarships, you may need a letter of recommendation, you may need to do an interview here or there, you may need to write an essay or make a video. It depends on the scholarship. That being said, thank you for your time. I hope you have a great day. Make good choices, make good choices.